Imagine waking up tomorrow with two completely different lives. One person wakes up in a luxury home, has breakfast, checks his investments, and follows a flexible schedule. The other wakes up worried about bills, rushing to work, and wondering if his money will last until the end of the month. But here's the surprising part: the biggest difference isn't the expensive car, the huge house, or the designer clothes. It's how their entire day is structured. This is a fictional comparison showing how money can affect lifestyle, choices, time, and opportunities. Being wealthy doesn't automatically mean being happier, and having less money doesn't mean someone is less hardworking or less successful. So let's follow these two people through the same 24 hours. At 6:30 in the morning, the poor man wakes up to a loud alarm. He slept for about 7 hours, but it doesn't feel like enough. His first thought isn't about vacation or relaxation, it's work. Rent is due soon, there are groceries to buy, and another payment is coming. He gets out of bed quickly because he has a long commute. Across town, the rich man wakes up in a quiet bedroom. He doesn't need to rush. His schedule is flexible. Instead of worrying about surviving the day, he thinks about what he wants to accomplish. He checks his calendar: a business meeting, a call with his financial advisor, time for exercise, and dinner with his family. Two people, the same morning, completely different pressures. At 7 a.m., both men have breakfast. The poor man makes something quick, maybe cereal, maybe toast. Before leaving, he checks his bank balance. Then he starts calculating. If I spend this much today, will I have enough for the weekend? The rich man sits down for breakfast. Food isn't a financial decision. He doesn't have to worry about whether he can afford his meal. But here's something important: money doesn't automatically create a better breakfast. The real advantage is freedom from constant financial pressure. When every purchase doesn't require careful calculation, your mental energy can be used elsewhere. At 7:45, both men start their commute. The poor man's older car is stuck in traffic. He has to arrive on time. Being late could mean losing money or even risking his job. The rich man also has somewhere to go, but his schedule has more flexibility. If traffic is terrible, he can change his meeting. If he needs to work from home, he can. If he wants to spend an hour exercising, he can make room for it. And that's one of the biggest luxuries money can provide: control over your time. At 9 a.m., work begins. The poor man starts working. He may work incredibly hard. In fact, he might work harder than the rich man. But there's an important difference. He's primarily being paid for his time. If he works 8 hours, he gets paid for those hours. If he stops working, the paycheck may stop too. The rich man approaches work differently. Maybe he owns a business. Maybe he owns investments. Maybe he has built systems that generate income without requiring his attention every minute. Instead of asking, "How can I work more hours?" he can ask, "How can I make the system work better?" That's a completely different question. At 11 a.m., a problem appears. The poor man's car suddenly makes a strange noise. He knows something might be wrong. His heart drops. A car repair could cost hundreds of dollars. Now he has to decide. Should he fix it immediately, borrow money, use a credit card, or wait until payday? For someone living paycheck to paycheck, a small emergency can become a major financial problem. Now imagine the same situation for the rich man. His car needs repairs too. It's inconvenient, but financially it isn't a crisis. He can pay for the repair without changing his entire month. And that's an important difference. The same problem can have completely different consequences depending on your financial cushion. At 1 p.m., it's lunchtime. The poor man looks for an affordable meal. He doesn't necessarily choose the food he wants. He chooses what fits his budget. The rich man can choose almost anything. But here's where the story gets interesting. The rich man doesn't necessarily become rich by spending without thinking. Many financially successful people understand something simple: money is a tool. They think about what money can do for them. Can it buy time? Can it create opportunities? Can it help build a business? Can it produce future income? The goal isn't simply to spend more. It's to use money strategically. At 3 p.m., the difference becomes even bigger. The poor man's workday continues. He's tired, but if he wants more money, he may need overtime, more hours, more work, less free time. The rich man may also be dealing with problems. Businesses can fail, investments can lose value, large responsibilities can create pressure. Being rich doesn't mean life becomes perfect, but Financial resources can provide more options when something goes wrong, and options are incredibly valuable. At 5:30 p.m., the workday ends. The poor man finally leaves work, but his day isn't over. He still has to drive home, maybe cook dinner, maybe take care of family responsibilities, maybe answer messages from work. And tomorrow, the cycle starts again. The rich man finishes his scheduled work. He may spend the evening exercising, reading, meeting friends, spending time with family, or working on another business idea. Again, this doesn't mean every wealthy person lives this way. Some work extremely long hours. The point is that money can create choice. At 7 p.m., both men go shopping. The poor man sees something he likes. He looks at the price, then he puts it back. Not because he doesn't want it, but because he has other priorities. The rich man sees the same product. Price isn't the deciding factor. But here's another important lesson. The goal shouldn't be to become rich just so you can buy everything you want. If your lifestyle grows every time your income grows, you can earn a lot and still feel broke. This is called lifestyle inflation. You make more money, so you buy a bigger house, a more expensive car, more subscriptions, more expensive vacations, and suddenly your expenses rise almost as fast as your income. Real financial progress comes from controlling the gap between what you earn and what you spend. At 9 p.m., the day starts winding down. The poor man looks at his phone. He thinks about tomorrow, another workday, another commute, another paycheck. He wants a different future, but finding the time and money to build it feels difficult. The rich man may also be thinking about the future, but his resources give him more opportunities to invest in that future. He might invest money, learn a new skill, start another business, hire someone to handle a task, or spend time building valuable relationships. This creates something powerful, compounding, not just money compounding, but skills, knowledge, experience, and relationships. At 11 p.m., both men finally go to sleep, and this is where the biggest lesson appears. The rich man's life isn't automatically perfect. He can still feel stressed, he can still make mistakes, he can still have problems. And the poor man's life isn't automatically miserable. He can have strong relationships, he can be happy, he can be ambitious, he can eventually become financially successful. So, what's really different? Money can change the number of choices available to you. It can provide a larger emergency cushion, more control over your schedule, access to more opportunities, and the ability to take calculated risks. Most importantly, it can give you more room to think beyond the next paycheck. So if you want to build wealth, don't focus only on looking rich. A luxury car doesn't make someone wealthy. A huge house doesn't automatically mean financial freedom. And expensive clothes don't create financial security.